Hey guys, it's Kennedy Miller. Thank you for joining us on your Thursday, May 29th. We have also Candace Scalese here on the call this morning, and we're going to really get right into this because we're talking about something that's going to impact a lot of Pennsylvanians, and that's the cost of energy prices. So, the energy prices, they're going to be going up in just a couple of days. I mean, you could see an increase of about 20, 30 bucks on your next bill. And I know probably a lot of you are thinking, why is the price of my bill going up? My bill is already high enough. I feel the same way. So we do have Candace Scalese, who actually spoke to an expert, and she has some of those answers for us. So Candace, what did you learn?
Hey, Kennedy. Yeah, so we talked to folks in Pennsylvania and in Maryland, two different senators. This all has to do with something called the PJM. It's a power grid. Basically, there are 13 states plus DC, and they all share the same power grid called PJM. So we went to Senator Kristen Phillips-Hill, you see there, and her concern is that Pennsylvania is supplying power not just to our state and our customers, but because we are part of this grid, we're also supplying power to states like Pennsylvania, to Maryland. The challenge is Maryland does not supply a lot of power for its residents. So then states like Pennsylvania and other states are on the hook.
And Candace, I mean, why is Pennsylvania impacted by Maryland, considering it's, a different state?
Yeah, so because we're all part of that same grid, we're on the hook for providing some of that power. They produce between 40 and 60% of their power for their residents. Everything else comes from outside. And so one of the challenges is making sure that we can keep up with the demand. And right now, Maryland can't do that. And so they're relying on states like Pennsylvania to do so. Now, this is a senator from Maryland who we spoke to. And when we talked to him, he recognizes that, yeah, prices jumped astronomically recently because they have two power plants that shut down recently or are expected to shut down this year. When you get rid of that power, that decreases the supply that you have, but the demand is still there. So like it says right there, Maryland imports 40% of their power. And could we just leave the grid? It's a nice idea, but not realistic. So because we're part of this system, they're actually planning to build these power lines like you see here, take power from our people here in Pennsylvania and send it down to Maryland so that they have power for their customers too.
And, I know in your story, you also spoke to, people in the community. I mean, how are other people responding about these changes?
Yeah, there's a lot of concern. I know I asked the senator from Maryland, is this all about clean energy, solar panels, wind power? The problem is we need reliable power, and that's what a base load power plant is. It's reliable, regardless if it's sunny, regardless if it's windy. So as people are trying to effort clean energy and trying to effort, a clean environment, getting rid of extra CO2, the issue here is the fact that we need power plants. And so how do we do that in a smart way? That just speaking was one of the guys with PJM who was talking about this power grid and talking about smart ways that we can build more power, like with nuclear energy. There's some discussion about something called a battery plant, which I just learned about, but you would have to get rid of some natural resources in order to build something like that. So people on the street are upset because at the end of the day, we're paying more because there just is not enough power for other states, and we're ending up on the hook for it. So Senator Kristen Phillips-Hill is calling on Governor Josh Shapiro to do something about it, to talk to other governors. And something that's really interesting is it's really a bipartisan issue because everybody wants to turn the lights on. Everybody wants to be able to live at home and not have to worry about their power bill costing so much that they can't even afford it.
That's interesting you said that. I know that we were also talking about ways that we can cut back and, ways that we can save on our own energy bill. I mean, a couple of months ago, I was having a conversation with you. My bill was over $500 and I was able to, reduce that significantly. And you gave me some very helpful tips. So could you provide some of those tips to everyone else?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things that is neat about Pennsylvania is the fact that we can choose who our power provider is. So if you have Met-Ed or PPL, you can go in and you can basically compare prices. And one of the benefits of that is you can decrease that price month to month. Now, that price is still going to go up June 1st with the increase of 15% pretty much overall. But as we see these price increases, which it sounds like we're going to continue to see unless there's a big solution to this problem in the immediate future, you can go on and shop for prices. And that way you can basically choose your power provider, and then you can find power that is more affordable while this makes it through the legislative process and while our local senators and representatives find a way to find more power to supply to Pennsylvanians, people in Maryland, New Jersey, and everyone who shares this power grid with us.
All right. And Candace, I know that your story is expected to air sometime this evening. Is there anything else you can tell our viewers, just like a sneak peek, a little preview before that airs tonight?
Yeah, definitely. That's happening at 6 o'clock tonight on CBS 21. And then you can come to our YouTube page. You can watch it there in full. You can also go to our website as well, cbs21.com. I think the real thing is just hearing from both of the senators. They both recognize it's an issue, and hearing how it's impacting people directly, and then what they are personally doing as your representative to make a difference in your life. So if you live in Pennsylvania, if you're in Maryland, if you're in New Jersey, it's really important to pay attention, because at the end of the day, this affects your pocketbook. And if you can see what they're doing, how they're fighting for you, or maybe if you want them to do something different, it's important to pay attention so that you can call up your local representative, tell them how you're impacted and what you want to see change.
All right, Candace, thank you. And just like Candace was saying, that story is going to air tonight at 6 o'clock on CBS 21. If you miss it, don't worry. We'll also have a web article posted to our website at CBS 21. There'll be a link to that broadcast. You can also check out our Facebook pages as well. That story will be posted there. And again, Candace, thank you for all that information. Thank you guys for joining us on 21 Next. We hope to see you back again, and have a good day.
Thanks, Kennedy.